Hi everyone, good evening. This is Arjun and welcome to the coaching talk show, one of the exclusive live coaching talk show. And in this talk show, I always try to bring valuable and special guest so that they can also discuss perspective about the youth, about the everything. So today one of the special guests with me in next couple of minutes. The name is Max, right? So he's yeah, from Syrup and Cyprus, sorry. So now I'm just waiting for him so that we can go live together and we can start the coaching talk show today. And I'm sure you all will love the coaching talk show, because by this talk show we always plan to do something different. We always try to spread something different, different aspect and different case studies as well. Here we, and I'm sure this talk show will be one of the best talk show for all of you. A couple of minutes here. Yeah. Hi. Good evening, Max. How are you doing? Good to see you.
Fantastic. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot for your time. And before starting the coaching talk show, I would like to say thanks to my all viewers who all are with us here. And me and Max are going to talk about on transformation. You know how a youth. My voice is, I think, echo at your end. Uh,
Is it X?
yeah.
Okay, I'll use
Now it's fine. It's good. All right. So today let me introduce about first. Max. So Max
Hello? Is
is
that
one.
good?
Yeah, that's good. Thank you so much. So
Okay.
Max is one of the very enthusiastic youth, one of the very enthusiastic young leader from Cyprus, and he is one of the best personality, I can say, because he is coaching so many students in his nation, and I really proud of all youth. Those are helping people, those are spreading happiness, joy, love all over the world. So we are blessed to have you, Max, today in this talk show. Apart from that, Max, my complete lives on a family is really blessed to have one of the enthusiastic leader today with us.
That's
So
great. Thank you.
he is passionate about so many things, and let's have a great conversation with him so that Max can also share inputs, thoughts, what youth think today in these days, how they can handle crisis, how they think for better future as well. So these all things I'm going to ask from Max, right? So Max, welcome to the Coaching Talk Show, sponsored and powered by Life's Honor. And I myself, Arjun God, International Life Strategist and the founder of Life's Honor. And the Coaching Talk Show, the purpose and agenda is very simple. It's all about spread happiness and love all around the world, right? So
Yes.
Max would love to hear your brief intro so that things will be effective for all of us.
Firstly, thank you, Arjun, for inviting me. This is an amazing opportunity. I'm very grateful to be here and have such a warm welcome. So I'm Max. I just graduated from the London School of Economics. I hold a degree in economic geography. It's more interesting than it sounds, and I know it's not related to coaching, but I'm actually taking a master's in applied positive psychology and coaching psychology at the University of East London. So that's where I'm going to get my coaching experience from. At the moment, I coach disadvantaged GCSE students in the UK at a charity company. I'm also going to be doing training at Cambridge University and the Academy of Executive Coaching. And that's all virtual. So I'm doing a lot of kind of training around coaching, trying to help the youth. Again, I'm very passionate about empowering the youth and encouraging them to get through this COVID situation. It's a very unusual time we live in right now. So I'm hoping to reach out to those youth.
Great. Sounds good. And that's a really great thing. You are doing so many great things. So, Max, I have a question before starting the coaching talk show. Uh, what do you think about current situation for youth, especially?
Yeah, I think particularly now, it's very concerning because I see some of my students
Mhm.
and I'm doing like maths coaching with them, and they've just forgotten everything, like fractions, algebra, and it seems like they're very lost. They're anxious. They're afraid what's going to happen at university. A-level
Mhm.
students in the UK, they don't know, are they going to get into university? The clearing rate now is through the roof, and this has never happened before in history, where we had a virus break out and disrupt schooling this much. So I'm thinking, how are the youth dealing with their emotions right now? And I don't think they're dealing very well with them.
Absolutely. So, what do you think? What is the biggest challenge for youth in these days?
I think dealing with social pressure, probably. We have
Right.
social medias now. We have, all these role models, all these picture perfect people, and the youth are just left to struggle essentially. They don't have, I guess, young people like themselves, like me, for example, they don't have those kinds of people out there.
Mhm. Mhm.
Uh, so I think that's the concern. Kind of social anxiety, let's call it.
So, Max, you're absolutely right. That is a very important part, and that is a very important area and topic you are tapping. Uh, so, actually, what happening in these days, youth are a bit confused about future growth also because of this COVID-19 also happened, and so many, financial crisis all over the world happening. If I'm talking about Europe market, if I'm talking American market, all financial market are very down, right? And on based on that European market and American market, so many countries are dependent, economy dependent, basically. So youth are very afraid from the future, right? If I'm talking about employment perspective and growth perspective. So what do you think? What is your one message on this topic to youth all over the world?
We're dealing with the future. Well, I had to go through these issues myself. Uh, I went through quite a phase of depression at university. I kind
Mhm.
of stopped going to lectures and I was very quiet in classes. And I had to think really, what am I going to do in the future now? Where am I going? And I kind of used a sort of self-coaching in a way. I was a big fan of coaching. I read many books. Didn't
Mhm.
come across yours, unfortunately, but I will be reading that now. And
Mhm.
I grew this kind of self-coaching and I realized that I am in control of my destiny. I can use techniques and tools to just make my way to where I want to get to. Take small steps and just slowly progress, not get confused or frustrated with people trying to tell you that you can't do it. I've
Mhm.
had professors tell me that I shouldn't go into coaching because I have no
Mhm.
psychology background. But I'm slowly working my way forward. So maybe if I were to say something to the youth, it would be
Mhm.
just take small steps forward. Keep the big
Mhm.
picture in mind, but don't be discouraged by setbacks. I think that'd be a good tip.
I think that's a very, very good and valid point, because this is the one of the thing, where student and youth can understand the future. And apart from that, I would also add one thing here. Future projection is obviously based on present situation, but present situation is in our hand, right? Either we can see in that way what's going wrong, or either we can see opportunities, but we can make it better, right? So I
Mm.
think for youth, first, if you are saying very well, is patience. Patience is very important. I think they should maintain patience and just think about, don't be in rush, because when you will be in rush, things will be more challenging for you, things will be more harmful for you, what I think personally. And in rush, you sometimes you take decisions wrong. Sometimes when you will take decision wrong, definitely you will do a big mistake for your career. You can take a big decision as well, it could be wrong. So so I think as a youth, you should analyze first what is right, what is wrong, as per the current situation and future projection, right? Now things are very unpredictable, happenings, most of things happening, and after this COVID situation, I can say life is also unpredictable. So so we never even thought about this virus. We never thought about it, right? Let's change the world, let's change the thought process. So being a youth, because I know very well youth has so many challenges. Thank you so much everyone who all are joining. Thank you Anaya, thank you Ashok, thank you Shubham, thank you everyone who all are joining the coaching live talk show. This is one of the talk show by Lives Honor Family, and we are here to help you by our guest perspective to spread more transformation, more happiness, more joy. So, Max, we have today. So, Max, my next question to you, the secret about your happiness.
Oh,
Because I
great
can see
question.
happiness, I can see a wonderful smile on your face.
Yeah, well, I don't have perfect happiness yet. I do get moody moments, right? So, I think reading has really helped me. Just reading books that feed your spirit in a way. So maybe like you eat food to nourish your body, I read books to nourish my soul. I think that's a quote I read from somewhere. And I think it's very important to read, very broadly books on even on things that you don't quite agree with, like maybe religious books or spiritual books, meditation, things that you know absolutely nothing about. You want to explore these new ideas. So then that brings me on to openness, I guess. You want to be open to new ideas. You want to be agreeable, and you don't want to project hatred onto other people as well, because that's just a reflection of yourself. And if you're projecting hatred to someone, then you yourself are unhappy, in my mind at least. So I guess be mindful of your projection and reflection, this kind of reciprocity. I'm sure you're familiar with that. Be mindful of how what you project onto others is an understanding of who you are. uh, I'd say
Great.
that for now.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So, Max, me and my all viewers is getting the secret behind of your happiness, and I hope this secret will also work in others' life as well. And because happiness secret is one of the nothing is all about what I think personally. What are you feeling in present? Just enjoy it. Just feel it, right? So that is the secret of happiness. What I think personally, present is very important. And when we feel our present, we feel ourselves. When we feel ourselves, we build more power, more strength, and more intellectual things in our mind and body. Because our mind and our body growth depend on our present activity, not on past activity. Present, that is the most important part for all of us. So Max, I know very well. On very young age, you are helping people, so many people, and this task, this work is not small, not easy. It's a challenging job. You are helping youth. You are helping future youth. You are helping students. It's not easy job, but you are doing. I really appreciate your work, what you are doing. I really appreciate the way you are doing. I really appreciate the way you are thinking, and I really appreciate the way you are helping. So we all are proud of you, how you are doing it on your very young age. And that is the reason, as a youth icon, I decided to invite you in my this the coaching talk show, because me and complete lives on our family always try to bring people those are really doing something out of the box. And we feel personally, so are in India, this August is complete Independence Month. We celebrate 15 August as Independence Day, right? So we decided as a Lives Honor, let's celebrate this complete month with complete thought of youth all over the
Oh,
world, what they are thinking. Let's
yeah.
release yourself from all barrier, release your thought from all barrier, and spread more happiness by your self belief system as well. And the youth is one of the biggest power in our society. What youth think, what I personally, that become a shape in future for your growth, for our society growth, for our nation growth, for our world growth. And our world growth is based on youth growth, child growth, and is based on thought process as well. So, Max, I'm very sure about it. Your contribution is one of the biggest contribution for all of us. Great work.
Wow. Wow. Thank you. That really. I really appreciate that because you don't hear people very often speaking from the heart like that. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, Max. And being a life coach, being a life strategist, I personally believe, let's come together and let's help people together so that, so agenda of our life, every individual human, agenda of life is all about spread humanity, number one. After that, another things. We all are here to spread humanity, to serve humanity. And humanity is all about when we save life, when we help people, when we create a happiness, when we create a different kind of a zone for anyone around us,
Hmm.
right? What is the meaning of positivity as per you, Max? What is the meaning of
The meaning of
positivity?
positivity. Well, it's related to happiness, surely. So
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
let's say positivity. If I want to, let's say I want to be positive in a certain situation, like right now, for example, I want to feel positive.
mm-hmm,
So firstly, I definitely, again, like you've mentioned, the thought process, that's very important. Notice, if you're feeling kind of anger or frustration, I would say
mm-hmm,
awareness is the first step
mm-hmm,
to really getting rid of that kind of hateful thinking, self-depreciation. So be aware of it, acknowledge
mm-hmm,
it, really say to yourself, okay, right now Max is having self-hatred thoughts. He's saying
mm-hmm,
things to himself that are not good. Then I
mm-hmm,
would say the next step in this three-step model, so it's awareness, acknowledgement. I then say it's refocus. Refocus on
mm-hmm,
something that you're maybe grateful for. Maybe you're grateful
mm-hmm,
for your parents or your family or your country or the appreciation you're getting for other people. And then that
mm-hmm,
way, if you take awareness of the situation, you acknowledge those negative thoughts, and then you refocus, all of a sudden you transform those negative thoughts into
mm-hmm,
positivity. And of course, it doesn't always work. Sometimes you can have negative thoughts that keep propping up, and
mm-hmm,
then you just have to keep trying, I think. So for each
mm-hmm,
each person, it's different, but that's my approach for kind of getting rid of negativity and uplifting positivity.
mm-hmm. So, do you think personal Max is a great answer? Do you think uh, positive thought process could be one of the biggest reason for anyone's success of life?
Oh yes, definitely, absolutely. I mean, how well? Okay, if you take extreme examples like
Mm-hmm,
dictators, do they have a
mm-hmm,
positive thought process? I'm not too sure. You could debate that, but certainly anyone who is successful, they would have had a positive. Yes, definitely.
absolutely. Because I also personally feel positive thought process is always play one of the biggest role for our success of life. And the meaning of success, everyone has a different definition on that. Most of people is a billionaire. One of the they can say I'm a successful person when they will become a billionaire. And most of people, so as per me, right, what I feel personally, in our life we earn money, we and apart from that we earn money, and then we we are spending money as well on so many things, right? But when we will be on 60 or 70 years of old age in future, we can't remember how much money we earn in our life and how much money we spend in our life,
Uh,
but we will always remember how many people we help.
yeah, it's brilliant point. Yeah.
And if in my life personally, Max, if I will transform not 10,000, not 20,000, not 30,000, when I will be in 60 age or I will be on 70 age, if I will transform 60 people in my life, if I will see that, okay, these 60 people I have transformed and they are living life happily, that is my earning of life.
Yeah, that's a fantastic way of measuring a success. Yes.
Yeah, because in our life, what is the objective, what is the meaning of life, that is the most important part. And for youth especially, it's very important to understand the meaning of life. It's very important to understand self introspection, because a youth is always lack from self introspection. They are having study universities and college, and after then they are doing professional whatever, but they don't have clarity what they would like to do in life. Is all about unleash your hidden potential, what I can say,
Mm.
or unlock your hidden potential. Because What is the hidden potential? That is the responsibility of a coach to explain these youth that you are doing very well. I'm very sure about it, right? And as per your experience, I would love to hear, and my audience would love to hear from your side. When you coach students, what is the common biggest challenge you can see? Common biggest challenge.
Yeah. Well, at the moment, because everything's virtually, it's technical difficulties. So
Mhm,
technical stuff breaking, like audio, slides. But outside of that, I would say it's building a relationship with the students. So well, as a life coach, you probably work with a lot
mhm,
of adults, and I
mhm,
think coaching is very specific to age group. And whether you're
mhm,
talking to an adult in their 40s or an adolescent in their late teens, it really isn't developed in terms of how do we
mhm,
coach teenagers. I haven't
mhm,
found anywhere like a model, for example, that specifically focuses on teenagers. Because you read neuroscience, for example, and they always talk about how the teenage mind, for example, my brain is still developing up until I'm 25.
mhm,
How does that affect
mhm,
coaching and transformation? So
mhm,
a real big challenge in those coaching sessions is definitely
mhm,
how do you build a relationship with them? How do you build rapport?
mhm,
How do you tell them that I am here to help you, to support you and
mhm,
guide you? Because
mhm,
often the students, they don't exactly know what coaching is.
mhm.
It's a bit of a mystery subject to them.
True,
So
true. Very true. Very well. So, during your coaching process, Max, I believe there are so many kind of thought process, and they are introducing every day in front of you. Their brain, their mind, and all. And obviously, most of people are still in confusion between mind and brain. Both are separate thing, but they think it's the same, right? So, what do you think about our emotions, especially for youth? When youth is thinking about the growth, and suddenly one barrier, let's say, most of youth, I can see they have so many potential, so many skills, but due to financial crisis they are not able to do in life. They are stuck into routine life, formatted life, like education, after then job, after then that routine life, family,
mm,
everything, correct? But what I personally believe, they have different kind of skill, different kind of potential, but they are not able to focus because of financial things, financial challenges and all. For these students, for these youth, what is your message? What is your solution or your thought or perspective on it? How they can deal with it, like financial crisis? If youth has financial crisis, but they would like to do something different, so how that person can handle the situation as for you?
but I love when you bring up emotions. Emotional intelligence is one of my favorite topics.
Mhm.
And with regards to your question, how can youth get through these crises, the financial crisis, the COVID crisis, how can they deal with this emotionally, as I understand you asking? I think it's to always see an opportunity in the ashes. Always, whenever you have something going wrong on your life, there's always a seed of an equivalent benefit. There's always something you can do in this moment right now to move
Mhm.
forward to a better future. So even though we're in a crisis and unemployment is skyrocketing, the economy is
Absolutely.
collapsing, there's still things that you can do
Mm.
as the youth. For example, right now, the youth is very tech savvy. On social media, for example, they're very popular. So
True.
maybe how could they spread a positive message on social media? Or how could they
Mhm.
develop a tech app that could
Mhm.
help people in Lebanon, for example, with
Mhm.
the issue that's happening there currently? There's always room to create, curate, and
Mhm.
discover something. The one thing
Mhm.
that youth have is this incredible pool of curiosity and creativity. And unfortunately, in the schools, it's not really encouraged as much. The schools
Mhm.
don't encourage students to use their creativity. So in my coaching sessions, I always try to help them kind of discover that and
Mhm.
realize that they are capable of so much. So I would definitely say
Absolutely.
creativity for the youth.
Mhm. Absolutely, very well said. Creativity is very important, and the purpose of creativity is all about to give a different kind of shape of your life and your hidden potential as well, because everyone has a different kind of talent and ability, and everyone is blessed, by God. So definitely they have different kind of skill set, and they should understand, and they should analyze it, they should explore it. That's why I'm calling and talking about self introspection on this platform, because self introspection is a first point where a youth or teenager should, explore it. If they will explore about, if they will learn about, if they will study about self introspection, they will get to know what they would like to do in life. That is the first step. So without first step, how they can move on second step or third step or fourth step? That, in future it could be messy, right? So because of this mesh, I think, and we should avoid that mess. So being a coach, it's our responsibility to build that kind of thought process in teenagers, in every youth, so that they can deal with it.
Yeah, introspection is a great point to pick up. I don't know exactly how they could include it in schools, or maybe
Mhm.
parents, how they could encourage kids to introspect more. Because as a kid, I remember always being confused about my emotions. For example, I'd be told a lot things like to grow up or to let things go. And as a kid, you get very confused of your emotions. You think, oh well, I shouldn't be feeling this. I should be feeling like an adult. But then what does an adult feel like? So you go through all of these questions and you emotionally confuse children. You you force them down a kind of road of emotional turmoil. They'll they'll have well, not identity crisis, but emotional crisis of sorts, because they can have, for example, if you take an exam and you didn't do very well, you feel mild frustration, which is an emotional scratch of sorts. It's something that needs to be taken care of. But as a child, in the schools, you're never encouraged to introspect or to use your
Absolutely.
awareness to consider it. And then that scratch can turn into a wound, and it can become an infected, gashing wound, and all of a sudden you're in depression or anxiety. And that's how it
Absolutely.
can
Here is a
develop, I
here is
think.
a here is a comment from Bharti. You think today's time need coaching on emotional control, which should be done in the education curriculum in the for the future success. Absolutely, well said, Bharti. Thank you so much for your comment. It's really appreciable. What do you think about on this comment, Max? What is your thought?
Well, it's a
Do you
fantastic
do
comment.
you, do
Yes, it
you, do
should
you
be
also
included.
think? Absolutely.
Yes?
Absolutely, because that is also important. It should be part of curriculum in schools as well, and so that that child can learn and explore more about it. So, do you think? What do you think about if I'm talking about your country? Do you think which kind of format or which kind of study method they use? Especially, I'm talking about related with psychology, right? Which kind of study process or method they follow? They are teaching students or teenagers on that level as well, on self introspection level also. Is it in your
So,
national school,
in
Cyprus?
well, in the Cyprus schooling system, they follow the mostly the UK system. So we do IGCSE, which is international GCSEs, and A level. So it's very similar to the UK system. So Cyprus and UK is pretty much the same. And yes, I never remember having studies on emotional intelligence or even psychology. For example, I couldn't do psychology at A level, which was very sad.
Mhm.
So yeah, the Cyprus schooling system is very similar to UK. Uh, did I miss something there? Did you ask something else?
No, that's perfectly fine. So I was,
Okay.
checking with you, like if you are talking about that UK system education is applying in your nation as well, Cyprus as well, right? So,
Yes, yes.
so what I'm trying to understand, because the fact is that if I'm talking about like psychology is very important subject, and it's very important to understand for a teenager as well, for a youth also. Now, this is very important even for child as well, right? And it's not just all about child psychology, understand to child psychology and child counseling and all. It's all about something beyond that. And
Mm.
school and teacher and parents and even we as well, this is our moral responsibility to help child, teenager, youth to just explain, to just understand what is that, because without that is impossible growth as well.
Yes, yeah. You mentioned there the difference between kind of how we can talk about emotions in teenagers and how we can talk about
Absolutely.
emotions with older students. And
Yes.
that is something I'm not actually very sure about. Yeah, how do you explain to a 10-year-old about emotional intelligence?
It depend the way of representation, it depend the way of delivery of a coach, trainer, teacher, whoever is guiding, right? Because most of time obviously it's a very technical topic, and if we are talking about teenager or if we are talking about a child, so it's very difficult. Technically you can't explain them very well, but still. Max, am I audible? All right, I think there is a network issue from Max side. So, okay, so who are in this session today, the coaching talk show today. And if you have any related question, concern, query, feedback, comment, suggestion, anything, you can write it here, and we would love to hear reply on it. So that will be great. Max is here. Let me check him on camera. So this talk show is very open talk show. You can ask anything, whatever you want. You can comment here, and if you are not comfortable to comment here, you can direct. We can discuss here without taking your name, because this talk show is one of the very useful for everyone, and knowledge is always useful for everyone. I'm just looking him if he's here. I think he has some network challenge. All right. For time being, if you have any question, doubt, you can ask me here. I'm here to reply you. And I'm sure this talk show is one of the informative talk show for all of you, those are watching. And every week we always try to bring some new guests, so that, we can discuss more detailed content, more informative content, on more logical content. I think he has some challenge. All right. For timing he will connect. I would like to say thank you to all of you. I think there is a challenge from his side. Thank you so much all of you for joining us. If you have any suggestion, doubt, feedback, direct message me, or write me email. We would love to reply you. We would love to hear you. And let's keep spreading happiness, joy, transformation around you, positivity around you, because life is very unpredictable now. And we are here to help each other. So let's spread happiness and humanity as well. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening to all of you, and have a great week ahead as well. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye. Good luck.